Yeah, go right.
Come with me. Come around slowly, yeah? Just keep going around to the opening. Okay, shoot him again! Again!
Whoa! Now that is about as close as it gets on a buffalo hunt, and we're going to break down that piece of footage in a little bit. But first of all, I want to say welcome to Safari Classics TV. I'm your host, Dave Fulson. You know, one of the terms that I've really become to hate, I think most Americans agree, is the term reality TV. Because when you break it down, it's about as far away from reality as you could possibly get. This series is based and built on true reality. We're going to show you the reality of the safari experience, the modern safari experience. We're going to talk about the history. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to be showing you incredible video. It's going to capture the drama, sometimes the beauty, sometimes the danger of the true safari experience. Now, this is going to be a weekly series. Now, if you don't ever want to miss an episode, I want you to do two things for me. I want you to hit like and subscribe. That way you're never, ever going to miss the kind of action that we're going to show you today. Welcome to Safari Classics TV.
Come with me. Come around slowly, yeah? Just keep going around to the opening. Okay, shoot him again! Again!
Well, let me tell you what, that was a holy hell moment right there. That's about as close as a Cape Buffalo can get to you without actually getting on top of you. And that is that's a piece of footage that is really brand new. That happened about 2 weeks ago, and I am going to bring the man that was behind the camera on to explain there, because I looked at that and I said, holy hell, there's a story or two there, and I want to get to the bottom of it. I know just the guy to get us there. Andy MacDonald, are you there?
I'm here, Dave. How are you doing, good sir?
Boss, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Can't complain.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. No, good to be here, man. Good to be here.
Well, you know, we're awful proud of our video team, and I always say if Andy MacDonald's not the best in class, it sure as hell doesn't take long to call roll. You've been doing this a long time, and I tell you what, you drive that camera as good as anybody that I've ever hunted with, and you have to have that to be able to capture, you know, video like you just did. So let's start talking. I want to break down that piece of video, but first of all, tell me a little bit. I want the backstory. Where were you at? Who were you with? The hunters? Kind of give me the backstory.
Well, Dave, the backstory is we were in Yakasanga. I was with Cholton McCallum Safaris. The professional hunter for this hunt was Miles McCallum.
And that's in Zimbabwe, of course.
Yes, sir, in the Zambezi Valley. We were hunting lion, obviously buffalo. Buffalo was going to be hunted by the main hunter, the father, his son, Joe, was going to be hunting the buffalo. And then a couple of different plains game species as well on his tag.
So this was probably a 21-day hunt if he's hunting lion.
Yes, sir, 21-day hunt. At Joe's license was a 10-day buffalo. So we had a lion license and a buffalo license.
Well, after having spent half my life hunting in the Zambezi Valley, you know, the typical buffalo hunt, you know, starts rolling the tires. You're rolling out of camp. You're looking for spoor. You're going into areas, you know, maybe water points and stuff, trying to find where the buffalo have moved during the night. And if you find the right kind of tracks, you get out and get on the spoor and you begin your hunt. And I'm assuming that was exactly the way this hunt rolled out.
That was exactly the way this hunt rolled out, Dave. We had actually started out, we were going to hold off on the buffalo for a little bit. Just because, you know, bait is the main thing when you're hunting lions. If you don't have bait, there's obviously no chance of you getting a lion. So earlier on in the hunt, we had taken a hippo. We had taken a zebra as well. We'd been gifted a zebra by another guy who had just finished up a hunt. And to be gifted a bait is a big thing as well. So, yeah, we were obviously, the main thing on this one was lion. We were putting all of our efforts and concentration into lion, doing the day-to-day, doing all of the different bait runs, etc. And then when the time came to it, obviously within the 10 days of the buffalo license, we were going to put our focus on a buffalo when the time came that we needed bait, and obviously a good trophy as well.
So approximately what day of the safari, did this buffalo hunt happen?
So the buffalo incident happened on day 10. Our baits were going horribly, horribly south, and we had gone up to a couple of herds within the hunt. We hadn't found any old Duggar boys. We had seen a lot of herd bulls that were obviously still in breeding age, which was not what we were really looking for. We were obviously just, when we went in for the herds, we were looking for those bulls that sat light on the herds, hang out on the peripheries for safety. This is a lion area, probably the most intense concentration of lion I've ever seen before in my life. So those bulls do seek safety in the herds. And when we found that the herds didn't have any of the bulls that we were particularly looking for, we then decided we were going to get on the tracks of some Duggar boys if we came across them. And this all happened on day 10.
So, Andy, for people that may not be, up to speed on African terminology, tell me what a Duggar boy is.
So Duggar boy is a buffalo that, so the younger bulls all hang out with the herds. They hang within the herds. Obviously, they're all the breeding stock. The bulls that are in there, they're full of testosterone, they're young, they're boisterous, they want to fight a lot. A Duggar boy is a buffalo bull that has reached full maturity. He's stopped breeding. They will breed from time to time, but they don't like to hang out with the herds anymore. They prefer a more solitary life. And the term Duggar boy comes from their love of rolling in the clay, and it's more like a sunscreen, and also it keeps the bugs off of them. They roll in the mud and they get like a very hard, crusty surface, and that's all called Duggar. So that's where they get the name Duggar boy from.
Okay, so we're on day 10 right now. You guys are on the tracks. Are you on a solitary bull or a small group of Duggar boys?
Yes, sir. One bull, one solitary bull. And when we picked up the tracks, it was steaming hot. The tracks had just occurred. It just happened. The sun hadn't even come up early in the morning. I mean, you can just see in the video there, it's just starting to peek over the tops of the trees. It was those first days of winter, so it was cold. The buffalo was lying down, and obviously here Joe gets an opportunity at the buffalo. It's now facing us full frontal with its head hung low. Where I was, if I had moved any more, it would have risked the animal, obviously catching movement and seeing me, which is what I don't want to do. So I just stayed off to the side here.
And down he goes.
Down he goes. That's one of the best sights that you can see, or obviously, as we found out, one of the worst. We initially thought that this buffalo had been hit in the chest, frontal, which can if it goes down like that, it either means it's been brained or it's been spined. So
you're safe, eh?
Yeah, we assumed it had gone into the chest and hit the spine.
What was the caliber the hunter was shooting on the buffalo?
He was using a 416 Remington.
Yeah, 400 grain bullet. I shoot one as well.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bullet, and I mean nothing sometimes
at
feels
that
like
range.
Like big enough for buffalo, but a 416 is a true killer. It's one of my favorite calibers. So the initial shot. Now look, and we talk about this all the time. The view that the viewer at home and I'm looking at is a different view maybe than the shooter, and certainly the cameraman is looking at. Now it looked like there was just that tree trunk was right there in front, but to your view he had a clearer shot, and I'm assuming was he trying to go brain shot or was he trying to go chest shot?
So we initially thought that he was going for a frontal chest shot, but after the fact, we found out that he had actually gone for a frontal brain shot, which, I mean, when we saw it go down, Miles and myself both thought, okay, well, he's hit it in the chest, and he's hit it high enough that it's gone through and hit the spine and dropped it on the spot. He had actually, and he told us this after it had all happened, that he had gone for a frontal brain shot, and where the bullet actually entered the buffalo was just off center, a little bit low, which would have taken the bullet underneath the brain, which, with the shock of a 416 round going into its head, it obviously knocked it right down, which is what you see there.
And it knocked it down long enough to put in 2 insurance shots, but it looked to me, the buffalo laying down facing him, all he had was the boss in front of him. You couldn't see chest, so he went above and he shot him into that big hump, but there's really not much up there, is there?
No, there isn't, Dave. You know, when those things have got big necks like that, it is literally just solid meat. It is muscle. And the way that it was lying, and you can see in the angle there, if he had been any more left, it could have potentially gone through the horn. And I think what actually happened there was what he thought he was shooting at was, you know, a big mass of animal. And being inexperienced with buffalo, he didn't realize that that was just the big neck meat that he was shooting into. Both shots actually went in there.
So at this part of the buffalo hunt, there's a pretty happy group of guys. Everybody's shaking hands and slapping backs because they think they've got a trophy buffalo dead and down about 20 yards away. But now you go in to pay the insurance.
Definitely.
Now this is important.
Exactly.
You've got a different rifle.
This is very important, Dave. And Joe, the client you see here, he's a very, very accomplished, he's a world champion shotgunist. So he is very, very used to shooting guns with 2 barrels. And the unfortunate thing, being inexperienced with a large bore double rifle, is that it has 2 triggers. What actually happened in this instance was, as we come around the corner there, you can see he manages to get 1 shot off, and as the buffalo starts getting up, you know, it's that instinctual deal starts there. It's all comes down to adrenaline. And he shoots here, and instinctually he went for the same trigger. You know, that was what he's used to under high stress, I suppose. And when he realized his mistake, that was when the second instinct, you know, the get out of dodge instinct kicked in. I mean, he did very well to get out of the way of that buffalo.
Yeah, there's
very,
a little
very
bit.
well.
There's a little bit more on the line than missing a clay bird and having 1,800 pounds of pissed off buffalo in your lap. And you know,
yeah,
we've seen that before. But yeah, you could see him the first time I saw the video. He's double pulling that. He's trying to break that trigger off about right here.
Yes,
And
about right there, Dave. What you don't actually see, what you see off camera here is, I mean, obviously, Miles was right off my left shoulder. He had followed up behind us, thank God. Because when that situation happens, when there's 2 people in front of you, to be able to time a shot and hit it in the place where the buffalo needs to be hit. I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it. That buffalo was on me, and if Miles hadn't have hit it where he did hit it from behind, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. It would either be in a hospital bed, or who knows, it could have been worse, you know.
And there's the
People
shot
die
right
with these
there.
Animals. There's the shot.
You see.
That is Miles taking his shot. That was an unbelievable shot. And you know, if you shoot a buffalo in the shoulder there, it's not going to drop it, Dave. Where he managed to sneak that bullet in between Joe and I and still hit it in the right place, which then sent the buffalo, you know, it came skidding down next to me. I fell over a little Mapani scrub tree, and luckily, because if I hadn't have fallen back and my momentum hadn't gone backwards, that buffalo probably would have hit into me. The unfortunate thing, and what I'm still really upset about, is that I buttoned off the camera as I started falling, and I didn't catch the rest of that little sequence. But man, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy to be here right now after that. It was very intense.
Well, I was looking at that, you know, of course, when it got here, and, you know, Christy and I were sitting in post and we're looking at that on the big screen. I could see that from where Miles was at, if he would have tried a neck shot, or, you know, a brain shot or a forward neck shot, Joe was in his line of fire. And he
Exactly.
had the only thing he could shoot at that would bring that buffalo down instantly before it was on you is a spine shot. And the only part of the spine he had to shoot at was the far left. And, you know, what looks on the surface to be a bad shot may have been one of the best backup shots I've ever seen on safari.
Myself included, Dave, you know, under such a high stress. I mean, you saw how quickly that happened. We all thought that buffalo was dead. And my dad, you know, after speaking to my dad about the whole thing, he brought back that old saying, you know, it's the dead ones that kill you. And I think one of the only lessons people can take away from this whole deal is there's never enough lead thrown into these things. They are incredibly tough. You know, ammunition probably is going to be the cheapest part of your safari. So, man, when a buffalo's on the ground, you hit that thing until it's completely and utterly done.
Well, you had one disadvantage that a lot of times you can actually see the buffalo and you can see a little bit of movement or he's banging his head. You really couldn't see the buffalo at all. That was such a dense thicket. You couldn't see him till you moved around to the right.
Yeah.
And
It was a very thick
when
area.
when you very first saw him, once you made to come in for the last shot, was he already on his feet or was he just coming up to his feet?
You mean when we went in with the double?
Yes. Was he already, when you first saw him then behind the bush, was he up or was he coming to his feet?
So he got up from lying down on his side to full charge in that amount of time. As I came around the corner at the first shot was when he just starts to get up. It happened unbelievably fast.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of close call buffalo charges, and we've had, charges that have contacted our professional hunter and people in our group. So it does happen. But yeah, let's just look at this one more time and just try to see it for the incredible piece of footage that it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Andy, when I see that shot come in there, that really was a miraculous job by Miles to just had to process so many things in that split second. I can't go for he knows the shots that'll kill it. He's only got two choices. He can't go to the front. He's got to go to the back, and to know where that spine is on that moving buffalo and execute that shot as well as he did, that absolutely was one of the best shots and one of the best pieces of film that you've ever shot. And now,
thank you,
as you said earlier, so we talked about it's a buffalo lion hunt. So you had sent me a second piece of footage, and I want to talk about that because it also had more than its share of excitement. So tell me a little bit about what we're about to see.
So the background behind what we're about to see, Dave, is Nyakasanga is like I said before, a very high in density lion area in the Zambezi Valley. I think there's probably a higher lion population there than Mana Pools itself. There are a lot of lions. And whenever you're tracking buffalo, you run into lions, you driving along and you see lions. So lion was the main, obviously, objective of the safari. And we knew of an old big male lion that was kind of hanging around not far from where the actual Nyakasanga camp is. I had him on bait on Todd Corral's safari back in 23. Very, very nice old lion. We aren't aware of anyone having taken him in that time, so we were going to be on the lookout for him. And one of the nice things about Nyakasanga is you can track lions there. The terrain is good enough to track. The trackers are unbelievable. The guys that they have on their teams. Tinas, who is Miles' tracker, truly is one of the most incredible people to walk behind and follow and watch. He is an absolute expert at his job. So we had been tracking lions on this particular hunt, and we had seen a small pride not far from where one of our baits was, which wasn't far from there either. They had a young male there, so we knew kind of what his track looked like. But this one morning, we got up, we had heard a lion calling in the evening, and we came across a lion track. Yeah, so this is the piece of footage here.
Hey, all to a cause. Read back.
Lionesses, man.
Don't shoot.
Like lions galore.
Come back.
100%. So anyway, to cut a long story short, man, we had been tracking a lion that we thought was going to be a great male to potentially shoot. So a couple of days before, we had seen two lionesses with some very small cubs not far from where we had been there on that particular moment. So we had tracked this lion. We'd been tracking him for about 4 hours, got down into a beautiful riverine area when all of a sudden Tina stopped and pointed out and was saying lion. And we first heard the growls in the thick bush, and all of a sudden they came, and yeah, very, very close quarters as well. I mean, that last scene there was probably within 8 meters. She meant business. Miles had to fire a shot into the ground to turn one.
Hey, all to a cause. Read back. What's up?
That one was really close.
Yeah, there's a shot right there.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. No, don't shoot.
Yeah.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was Miles shooting into the ground next to her. Completely controlled environment, so she was never in any real danger. We needed to show them that we meant business and to get them out of our face because they were getting a little bit too close.
Well, that's exactly what the lioness was thinking. We got to show them that we mean business, and they can get your full attention when you blunder into a pride of lionesses, especially if they're got small cubs at heel. That's truly one of the more dangerous situations that you'll ever find in the bush.
Definitely. I'd say the two most dangerous situations that I've ever found myself in the bush have both involved an elephant with a small calf and lions with small cubs. They are different beasts when they've got young.
Yeah, they have the temperament and the ability to push back hard and with fatal consequence. Well, Andy, as every time
Definitely.
you send me something, I'm always looking to unwrapping whatever piece of video that you sent, and these kind of videos are just going to be the backbone of Safari Classics TV. We have the biggest B-roll library in existence of exciting African action, and we're going to be breaking down a lot of this. A lot of it's going to be shot with you. A lot of it's going to be shot with your brother Dan and our other crew members over there, and you are going to be a mainstay on the show. But I appreciate you
Fantastic.
doing the great job that you do in the field and capturing that stuff in the first place and giving us the behind the scenes stories, because those are not everything on TV is always as it seems, and this series is going to be about the behind the scenes, and you just delivered us a great view of that. And brother, I appreciate you. I know you're getting ready to pack for your next safari, and I'll be excited to catch up with you as that's going on and afterwards.
As always, Dave, appreciate you too, sir. Thank you very much. It's been only a pleasure. Can't wait for the next one.
All right, Buana. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, Dave. Thanks again, man. Cheers.
Well, today's question in our viewer mail comes from Robert, who hails from Decatur, Georgia. Now, remember, if you've got a question you'd like us to talk about on the show, just put it in the comment section. I give you my word. I'll do my very best to get back to you, and we'll answer it on one of the upcoming shows. Now, I'm going to paraphrase Robert's question. It's a long letter, but it said, Dave, I'm looking to book my first Cape Buffalo safari at the SCI show in February. My current biggest gun is a 300 Win Mag, so I'm looking for a more adequate caliber for buffalo. Any input on caliber selection would really be appreciated. Robert. Well, Robert, that is a question I've answered probably more than any other buffalo-related question in my career, and I've got some definite thoughts on it. This is a .375 caliber. This is out of the Hornady Dangerous Game series. A .375 is a great buffalo caliber. It's one of the most versatile calibers in the world, not just in Africa. This has been around since 1912, I believe the .375 came on the market, and altogether this caliber has taken more buffalo than all the other calibers put together. It's a 300 grain bullet. Now, real quick word about bullets, Robert. You want to make sure that you take both solids and soft point bullets on your safari, and your PH will tell you how he wants you to load up, but I never go on any buffalo safari without some solids in my kit. Now, this is a really easy bullet to shoot. My wife shoots this caliber really well, and she weighs about 125 pounds. It's big enough to tackle not only buffalo, but the big elands, all the way up to elephant. A lot of elephants are shot with a .375. Is it the perfect bullet? Is it the perfect caliber? Well, that really depends. You may want to go up to a 400 grain bullet, which means you're going to step up to a .416. Now, I have 3 buffalo rifles in my battery, a .375, a .416 Remington, and a double barrel Nitro Express and a .470 caliber. And I've shot buffalo with all of them. I've shot more buffalo with a .375, but I will say this. I am a massive fan of a .416 caliber, and I'll tell you why. It's a 100 grain bigger bullet, 400 grains, and it just has that extra oomph when it hits a buffalo, and I've seen a ton of buffalo shot with all the calibers. You're not going to knock a buffalo off his feet unless you brain him or spine him. He's going to go in the direction his nose is pointed generally. But I will say this, you can definitely see the impact that the 400 grain bullet has on a buffalo. So If you're recoil sensitive, I mean, you probably want to borrow somebody's 416 and shoot it if you're thinking about that caliber. For some people say, I've got a friend of mine's about 230 pounds and he shoots my 416, says, it's just too much. So it really depends on, if you're recoil sensitive. If you're not, I kind of feel this way about it. Just like shotguns, anything a 20 gauge can do, a 12 gauge can do a lot better. And that's kind of the way I feel. If I'm going to go on a hunt tomorrow, I'm probably shooting my 416. But again, that said, a 375 has killed more buffalo than all the rest of the stuff together. Your PH wants you to show up with a caliber that you're comfortable with. Accuracy and bullet placement is everything on a buffalo hunt. He would much rather you come with a 375 that you're comfortable shooting compared to a 505 Gibbs or a double, a 470, 500 and a double that you're scared of. So Robert, I hope that answered some of your questions and gives you a little more clarity. Again, there's not really a bullet. There's several good ones, 375, 416, whatever you choose. Make sure that you're comfortable shooting it. And buddy, I am jealous, always jealous of the guy that's going on his first buffalo hunt because it is a life-changing experience. I hope you track a big bull and I hope you put him down clean. Well, since we're on the buffalo theme today, I want to show you a little clip from Uganda. And the hunter here is a really good friend of ours, Mike Gines from Houston. Mike is one of the most enthusiastic buffalo hunters I know, and they've just spotted 2 bulls off in a little bit of scrub. And, this is how buffalo hunting goes. These 2 bulls have their butts towards them, and, the professional hunter is trying to get a look at their headgear and see if there's a shootable bull in there. Generally you just got to sit patiently like they're doing now, and that PH is, again, he's going to wait for these buffalo to move and he's going to say yay or nay on an opportunity. They're still sitting there. But now obviously he's going to move over a little bit, get a little bit different angle, and I don't know what he saw, but he liked what he saw, because the next thing I know, Mike is making a move for the shooting sticks. And Mike is an excellent shot. And here they are. They're not really scared. They know something bothered them, but they'll probably turn around and stop and look at it, and there's your opportunity. Boom, frontal chest shot, and that's a pretty typical reaction. There comes another shot, and then this. Boom, dumps him right in his tracks. And I can tell you that was a neck shot. He broke the spine in the neck and puts in a finishing shot right there. Now, Christy, I want you to show me that in slow motion again, just that the third shot when the bull goes down. Now you can tell right here, I can tell right here it's a frontal neck shot, and here's the reason. Front end's down, look at the back legs, they are still up. Now they're mobile. If he'd hit the spine somewhere from the midpoint to the back end would have went down, and the buffalo would have tried to drag himself off like I've seen him do many times. But he went in the right area. He went for a frontal spine shot, dumped him right there. And really the lesson to learn here is, he was ready to shoot again and put his own follow-up shots in. Buffalo do not just fall down. There's only 2 ways to shut off a buffalo's lights immediately, and that's a shot to the brain or that's a shot to the spinal column. And Mike provided a really great example of one of the buffalo hunter's main jobs. As long as that buffalo is up and you can see him, you keep that bolt working and you keep shooting. Well done, Buona Mike. Very good job.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you're enjoying the show as much as I am today. Now, remember, this show is produced for you. We want you to enjoy it, and we want you to be a part of it. So if you have any comments you want to share with us, you please put them in, and I promise you we'll look at them. If we need to, we'll respond to them. Now, we've been pretty buffalo-centric on today's show so far. We're going to mix that up a little bit. We're going to take you to one of my very favorite places in Africa, and that's a leopard. Okay, play along with me here. I don't want you to look at me. I want you to look at the right side of the screen. To most people, that's just a beautiful African sunset. But to our hunter today, it's on a 14-day leopard hunt. That is the sun literally setting on his chance to get a leopard. This is the last day, the last few ounces of sunlight left. Now, they've been sitting for 2 weeks on this. They've got 2 leopards feeding. They had a female and a male. Now right here, the female has just arrived on the bait, and that's exciting enough. They're hoping the male will come in, but you can tell that's a female. But now the only thing you can do is sit quietly and hope Lady Luck smiles on you, and she's just about to with the appearance of this big guy. Now you can look at the different size of the cats. You know, to me instantly, Dean Kendall, the professional hunter here, takes one look at it and says, that's our guy. You can just see the small neck, the small ears, the big thick body. And now all you got to do is control your breathing, control your nerves, and make the shot. Now, his shot was very well placed, as you'll see. It's not where the bullet goes in, it's where the bullet ends up. And that bullet traversed through both lungs, just right above the heart. That leopard, you know, came right out of the tree, as, you know, reflexes of a cat do. He went just a little ways, but Dean Kendall seen enough leopard shot, he knew that one was in the bag. So that is, I've been there. I shot my first leopard on the 13th night of a 14-day hunt. And I just know the unbelievable relief that washes over you when you say all this sitting and early mornings and late evenings have been worth the effort. And our hunter right now is about to see the payoff for his patience. A beautiful Zambezi Valley leopard. That may be, to a lot of people, maybe me included, the greatest moment you can experience in Africa.
Well done. Congratulations. It's a beautiful, beautiful cut.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as our team did putting it together for you. You know, we've been crisscrossing the Dark Continent for over 30 years, and we have amassed a library of footage that nobody else on the planet can bring you. Some of it's going to be exciting. All of it's going to be exciting. Some of it's going to be funny. Some of it probably damn embarrassing, and a lot of it very serious, even life and death situations. If you like this kind of programming, please do me a favor. Like and subscribe. That way you're never going to miss another episode. This is something I've been wanting to do, a format like this, for a long, long time, and we are going to truly take you behind the scenes on the Dark Continent. Until then, I'll see you next week on Safari Classics TV.